Humanity, I love you all with all my heart, with all my might. My videos are about love, infinity, creation, energy, because this is exactly who we are. We're infinite love, infinite energy, infinite creation. So, this video is part of a series of videos about exercises that are crucial, they're fundamental. This is exercise 8. Exercise 8. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to read it out and then I'm going to explain what I mean by it. Okay, so let's get started. Exercise 8. ABCD process premise. Phase A. Integrate 7 flywheel stages. Number 1. Strategy and agenda. Number 2. Clear communications. Number 3. Schedules and activities. Number 4. Theaters and events. Number 5. Outcomes and results. Number 6. Feedback loops. Number 7. Lessons and adjustments. Phase B. Integrate 4 steps with flywheel. Number 1. Landscape. Number 2. Intelligence. Number 3. Influence. Number 4. Momentum. Phase C. Apply growth scale to flywheel. Proof of concepts. Number 1. Number 2. Prototypes. Number 3. Minimum viable products. Number 4. Product market fit. Number 5. Market proof. Number 6. Sales ready products. Phase D. Mass adoption of flywheel. Number 1. High customer delight. Number 2. High market demand. Heartful flow states. Infinity equals 0. Follow your heart. Okay, great. So let's just get started. Let's talk about it one by one. You see, there's a lot of information there. It's a lot of crucial data points that they all need to come together as one. Because in the end, remember, we're compass. This is who we are. Each of us is a compass. Each and one of us, each human. If you're a human, you have a heart. If you have a heart, it means you have a heartbeat. If you have a heartbeat, that means you have an electromagnetic field. That's spherical in nature. That means you're a compass because it's spherical in nature. And the singularity of the human body is the heart. It's at the epicenter, the pulse of life, the pulse of creation. So the very epicenter of it generates the electromagnetic field. And the highest energy of the heart is love, right? So with love, we create the highest of creations. We exist because of the human heart. Without it, we wouldn't know anything that there is. It's all because of the human heart. So that's our species. Our primordial instinct is the instinct to exist. And this comes because of the heartbeat, the human heartbeat. So you see the highest energy that we can generate at the epicenter of our singularity, which is the heart, is love. It's the highest energy. You see, and that is infinite energy that goes to infinity. And this is who we are. Infinite love. This is our nature. We are this biological organism, the human race, that has the most advanced DNA in the universe because we are at the epicenter of the universe. Our sun is the central sun of the universe. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, is the epicenter, and the epicenter of that galaxy is the central sun, and we happen to be the planet orbiting the central sun of the universe, the singularity of the universe. And just like that, we're this biological scale of it. The human heart is the epicenter of our own universe, our lives, and electromagnetic field is what's generated due to the heartbeat. You see, so love is the highest energy of creation. This is why you always have to follow your heart, and love is a heartful flow state. So you need to stay with your heartful flow states because we are infinity. Infinity equals 0 because 0 is a sphere and an electromagnetic field is a sphere. We are a sphere ourselves. So this is who we are. This is our species. This is our nature. This is precisely who we are. Okay, this is precisely who we are. We are this species, the most remarkable, the most incredible species that there is because of who we are, where we are ourselves, what we have evolved into. Okay, so this is our species, this is our race, the human race, and the highest energy of creation is love, and love comes from the human heart. So, okay, so let's talk about it, because in the end, we're all compasses. This is who we are. We all compasses. And we have eight primary elements, just like the central sun at the epicenter of the universe, releasing all that energy that generates all the galaxies in the universe as a result. We are the same. We, with the highest energy of our heart, which is the epicenter of our electromagnetic field, our own universe of creation, the space structure, the body, right? The space structure density, the human body. At the epicenter is the heart. So when we love, we create our primary elements. And this is why we're compass. You see identity and true self, purpose, time and energy, action, why, how, flow, true north, and destination. These are our primary elements as a species that we create with the love of our hearts. Primary elements because we need them to know who we are, to understand our nature, so then we can go and interact with everything that there is, because we're conscious and self-aware and we exist. We manifest free will with purposeful daily action because we're compass. This is who we are. So you see, it's love that generates everything. And what are we doing? Well, we have purposes. We create things. This is what we do. We're not only creating biological life forms like our children, our offspring, but we also creating things, products, services, because the world is this. There is a marketplace out there. The world is huge. And we are the Republic of planet Earth. We have all these freedoms. So we need to create, because when you engage your heart, you have a purpose, then you love what you do and it feels great. So you see, our nature is entrepreneurial. So we need to do something with our time and our energy, and that is what purpose is. We manifest our free will through our purposeful daily action. So our actions are based on purpose. So our purpose is to create whatever it is that we're creating: music, art, building, whatever, designing, whatever it is that we do, sport, that can be shared with the world. And the way we share that with the world, with everyone else in existence, is through mechanisms such as services and goods and products. And these are the way we make everyone better off, by offering our purpose to them in a way in which they can use and benefit and become better off as a species, as an individual, because they're learning from your creations, because your creations add value to their lives. So just the same is reciprocal. Their creations add value to our lives. And it goes like this, and this is how we have become an extremely prosperous society, a very abundant planet, because we all creating. But as compasses with the highest energy of love, we can create the most wonderful things, tap into our DNA memories and create the most wonderful things, the most incredible things. So this is what this exercise is putting everything together, the infinite energy of love, and we target it with purposeful action, because we're compass in the end. We have an identity and true self that allow us to know our true nature as infinite eternal creators, that we're here to create with the energy of love. This is what we're here to do. And then that allows us to have a purpose, because with a clear identity and true self, we know what we want and we know what we like. And because we love everything that we do, then it's easier for us to focus on those things that give us great joy and purpose and meaning. That's why we choose our own purposes, because we are intelligent, conscious, and self-aware. We choose our own we have free will. We have the choice. We have consent. We choose what we want to do with our lives. It is our choice in the end. So we got to be conscious of that, and that's why it starts with identity and true self, and it leads to purpose. And then the management of our purpose, of our time and energy. And with that, so it leads to action. So we take action. And that purposeful daily action, that leads to results, right? So essentially, and that's what why how is. Why how is this mechanism of infinity that our language can comprehend, is infinity itself at a language scale, at a language level. So we can decodify that, we can encode it and decode it. We can pretty much use that as a mechanism for us to create the most wonderful things, find the most wonderful creations, and tap into our DNA memories to support us and do the most incredible things as a species because we're the central species, we're the central race. We find ourselves at the epicenter of everything that there is, the universe, our universe, and we are this planet hosting this species, which is us, gaining the energy from the sun every day, consuming it, because we're sundials as well. We stare at the sun, and that energy allows us to grow into infinity because we love with our hearts. You see, that's how it works. So then, this is why this exercise 8 is so important, because the ABCD process premise is putting all these important practices together as one, so we as compasses can have something to offer to the world, and the fuel of that is the highest energy of our heart, which is love. So we use love as the mechanism to create everything. But there is all these principles that we humans have devised throughout our experience here on planet Earth, and I made sure to put together all the ones that are the most important ones, and developed 4 phases: phase A, phase B, phase C, and phase D. And there is steps and stages within each of those phases. So when you follow the stages and you follow the process, then you will be able to create the most wonderful things, because we're infinite eternal creators, we're co-creators of infinite eternities. This is what we are as a species, and love is the highest energy. And because we have love, we can manifest our free will, we can manifest our primary elements, and as compass create the most incredible things. So let's go one by one then. So phase A, integrate the 7 flywheel stages. So what's a flywheel? Well, the flywheel is a mechanism, right? It's a mechanism that enables all these processes to come to fruition. So you can have a destination, right? The earth primary element. You make your dreams come true, right? Your purpose comes true. You manifest your purpose, you manifest your dreams, you manifest your destinations as compass with the energy of love, because it's spherical in nature. Compass is spherical in nature because we're spherical. The electromagnetic field of the human body is spherical. So you see, because we're infinite. Everything that's spherical is infinite in nature. And we are infinite in nature with the biology of infinity ourselves. This is who we are, with the biological expression of infinity. And our creator is the central sun, which is spherical as well. We're the image of it. We're electromagnetic field, just the biological expression of that infinite creation. But we are it at the biological scale, because we have a consciousness and self-awareness that is infinite. Because we have Waiha, and Waiha is the language of infinity. And we can use it to tap into our DNA memories and create the most wonderful things by tapping into all our ancestral memories, our heritage and legacy of the most ancient species in the universe, who we are, the human race, because we're the first, we're the central sun. And the central sun was the one that generated all the energy that came out of the universe when it was formed in the first place. And this is who we are. This is who we are. This is our species. We're right there. We're the most ancient. We're the most advanced, biologically and technologically, that there is. And all our technologies are within our DNA memories. So, and love is a mechanism that unlocks them. We just went through dormancy for the events that took place in the past. But I'm not going to talk about it in this video. You can refer to other videos to know the story of humanity, what happened to us and why we forgot who we were and we went dormant and suffer from amnesia. But beyond that, let's talk about what truly matters, which is exercise 8, ABCD process premise. It's putting all the processes together. You see, ABCD process premise. So when you put ABCD together, the process premise emerges, which is this flywheel. And this flywheel is an incredible mechanism because it's broken down into phases. It's first understanding the flywheel, what the flywheel is, and the components of the flywheel, the elements of the flywheel. And this flywheel is the mechanism that you use to manifest the most beautiful creations, the most beautiful services, the most beautiful products, the most beautiful goods that then you can share with the world in the marketplace of planet Earth, because we in the Republic of Planet Earth have infinite freedoms. We have global trade freedoms, and we have outside Earth's orbit trade freedoms. We have economic freedoms. We have financial freedoms. We have issue of currency freedoms that allow us to have everything that we require to create the most wonderful things without any limitations because we're infinite. This is our nature. We're the human race. Okay, so let's dive in to start. Phase A, integrate 7 flywheel stages. You see, the flywheel has 7 stages, and these stages are fundamental, and you need to understand them and know why they are in the way they are to understand what the flywheel is, which is the mechanism that enables the creation of the most wonderful products, services, and goods. So you can then, as a result, you share it with the world, and the world becomes better off because you're creating these with your purpose, with your dreams, with your visions. You're creating this with the energy of your heart as a compass, the highest energy of creation, and then the world benefits as a result. Okay, so let's start. So the first one is strategy and agenda. This is the first stage of flywheel. Why is this so important? Because you need to understand what you're doing, and you need to understand there's an agenda, and the agenda is set by you based on your purpose, right? And I have spoken at length in previous videos about what strategy is and what agenda is. And this essentially, you can always refer to those videos, strategy. I have all that information, all is already there. So I'm just talking about this exercise. So essentially what that is always based on these 6 primordial components, these 6 building blocks. And it's always what essentially leads to us. And this is who, why, how, what, when, and where. And your strategies are formulated around these, and this leads to purposeful goals, so you can have a clear agenda. You see, all that information has been already provided, so you can refer to it in the other videos where that information is. You see the visuals of what they look like. There's many visuals that explain what a strategy is and the way you go about it. It always starts with you, who, and then the why, which is the purpose, your purpose. And I have provided exercises, exercise 1, exercise 2, so you can build your purpose statements. So you can build your purpose statement so you know how to go about it, because your strategy is based on your purpose statement, right? And then your purpose statement builds into your purposeful goals. And I have provided how to build purposeful goals as well, and how you go about it to manage your time and energy. So you see, this is fundamental, and that all that information is already available. So this is for free. I'm giving this available. I made this product, this service, this good that I'm providing to the world. All the information that I'm sharing with the world, Compass by White House, who we are, is for free. Why? Because we are free. Humanity is free. We are the Republic of Planet Earth. And everyone needs to have access to this information, because this is our user manual as a species. This is who we are. How do I know these things? Because I was able to tap into our DNA memories. Why? Because I love with all my heart and all my might. And love is the highest energy of creation. And when you love, we can unlock our DNA memories. And when we do so, all this information gets released, and we have memory downloads, and we can start to create the most wonderful things. Why? Because we're the most ancient species. And by being the most ancient species, because we are the epicenter of the universe, at the central sun of the universe, the singularity of the universe, we had all the time to evolve into what we are. In fact, we're so ancient, we're the most ancient species, the central species at the epicenter of everything that exists. So because we're so ancient, we forgot who we are. That's how old we are, because we've been through a lot of things, and you can refer to those in the previous video. So we are this species, and we have our species is the most advanced technologically and biologically in the universe, and all the universes that we have created with a consciousness and self-awareness. But all that information, our ancestors devised mechanisms to encode it in our DNA. So our DNA structure is the structure of infinity. So everything that exists within our species and outside our species is encoded in our DNA. The universe and all the universes that we have created, everything that there is encoded in our DNA. So by loving, we can tap into that and remember who we are. And then we can have all these downloads and have visions and imagination and creativity beyond what we would consider common, because it's within our infinity, because we are not common. We are the human species. And by understanding our nation with identity and true self, we would start to be able to tap into the DNA memory so we can create the most wonderful tech that we already have created, but we will replicate it today, here and now, the Republic of Planet Earth. So let's do that. So you see, starts with strategy and agenda. It's fundamental. And I have provided all the visuals, all the steps as to how to build a flawless strategy, a powerful strategy, a purposeful strategy, and an agenda around it. Because in that way you are clear. It's like knowing who you are, identity into yourself. That's why the flywheel starts with strategy and agenda, because you know what you're doing. Your agenda is to have a purposeful goal, to have purpose statements, is to have everything that you need so you and understand the stages so you can actually take purposeful daily action every day with your time and energy management. So you manifest your free will, which is your consciousness, your self-awareness, your dreams, right? Your purpose, what you're here for. Okay, because we're here to create. This is the reason why we exist. Okay, and we create with the highest energy of creation, which is a human heart. Okay, love is the highest energy of creation. Now, so once you understand the strategy and agenda, and you can refer those to those visuals, and I also made videos that how I explain those visuals. Everything is there on the channel, on this YouTube, on the website, and all the different channels, Substack, everything is there. Okay, so now the second stage, once you understand the strategy and agenda, is clear communications. Why is clear communication so vital, so important? Because you need to communicate. We're a social species. We communicate with other members of our species, other humans, other hearts, right? We communicate. And when we are building things that are great, sometimes you can do it on your own, like I have done everything. But that doesn't mean that I did it on my own purely, because my DNA memories, they were not only mine, but the collective of the species that I'm tapping into. Because that's the thing, our DNA memories are stored in all the cells of our body, because there is DNA in each cell. So each human has the ability to tap into each memory of our entire collective, and not only our collective, our species, but everything that exists in the universe. And not only your memories and your ancestors, but everyone's memories and ancestors, because everything is encoded here. And then we can tap it with the energy of love. You see, so I was tapping into all these, communicating with our DNA. And not only that, there's also a lot of information out there that has been already created that I was able just to polish and make it more concise with my own ideas, to make sure that and for that I needed other humans, you see, that have been here before us, and I needed technology. For example, other humans created computers and created all these things in modern times that allows me not only to communicate with you, which is clear communications, but also to have the tools that were created by other humans that communicated with other humans to create those technologies, so this moment can happen, so I myself can have clear communications with you, with the world, because that's just the way it is. So clear communications is important, you see, because it's all levels of scales for clear communications, all sorts of levels of scales. So, and sometimes you would, because purposes might be huge. So if you have a purpose that is clear, you might need to have other humans that you involve in the product manufacturing or the goods or the services that you're building or creating. And because this is a fundamental part of entrepreneurialism, you're most likely going to have people with you in your team. And it's important to have clear communications. And what are clear communications? Well, this is distributed information. All the information that is communicated has to be communicated equally and distributed among everyone. So there cannot be secrets. Because when there is secrets and compartmentalization, there is hierarchies. And when there is hierarchies, there is centralization. And when there is centralization, there is inefficiencies. So that doesn't lead to productivity. And that also leads to all sorts of social problems, because people don't feel the same as you, equal in status, which we all are. We all are equal in status. The Republic of Planet Earth, we are all commanders-in-chief and heads of state simultaneously at once. All of us. This is a republic. We all have the same status. No one is above anyone else. We are all the same in status, but we're individuals, and we all have infinite freedoms. You see, this is the source of our powers and authorities of the Republic of Planet Earth comes from the individual, from the human heart, because and we all the same, we all the heads of state, and we all the commanders in chief of the Republic of Planet Earth. There's no hierarchies. Everything is decentralized and distributed. So everyone has access to everything. Transparency, freedoms. Okay? This is a simple. There is privacy. You have privacy, your private life. There's no spyware. There's no one surveilling you. Because the Republic of Planet Earth is that. Because the state is fully distributed and decentralized. So no one in the government can do any surveillance on any individual because we are the epicenter. So we cannot be surveilled. This is unlawful. So essentially, it's all about transparency. But when you have your own teams outside your private life, when you have a team, all the information, all the purposeful information, because remember, you have a strategy and agenda. And that strategy and agenda is around what? The flywheel. And what's the flywheel there for? The flywheel is there for what? The flywheel is there for what? To manufacture, to create. And what are you creating? Goods and services, products that are going to benefit society, right? This is what you're doing. You're benefiting society. You're making society richer, wealthier, more abundant, more prosperous by adding value to it. So everyone in society benefits as a result of your creations with your love of your heart. So there is no privacy in the sense that your private life is yours, but you need to have the transparency of that purpose with everyone that you're engaging with within that team, those groups that are coming together with you to share this agenda, to share this strategy, to share this dream, this purpose of creating products, goods, and services. So within that environment, you need to enable clear communications, distributed and centralized. What that means is that all the emails are accessible to everyone. All the emails within your team of creators as entrepreneurs, because everyone needs to know what's happening. There cannot be secrets. If there is secrets, there is problems always, because then there's power struggles, right? And this is not about power. This is about, because we're all equals. We all powers and authorities of the Republic of Planet Earth, meaning we all commanders in chief at once simultaneously. We all are heads of state at once simultaneously. So there's no secrecy. No one is holding any cards. All the cards are revealed. Particularly, this is extremely important when you're creating, because when you create, everyone needs to know everything so everyone can contribute and make it better. Because you're not hiring. You're not hiring. You are coming together as a team because you don't need to pay anyone. Why? Because we have financial freedoms, economic freedoms, and issue of currency freedoms, meaning we ourselves have our own wallet, meaning we are banks ourselves, so we can generate the resources to cover our expenses. So we don't need a salary. We don't need a wage. We don't need to have a boss. We using our free will, our purpose to be together, to create as a team, united as one voice, because we all wanting to do this together, because there's no bosses, there's no hierarchies, there's none of that nonsense. So because all that nonsense is because people need wages and these hierarchies and structures. But when you flatten everything, because everyone has equal status and there is no need to get paid a wage and have a boss, because we have ourselves, we are banks ourselves. This is what the Republic of Planet Earth gives us. This is part of our constitution, the constitution of the Republic of Planet Earth. We all have wallets. So our wallet could be an app on your phone or your computer. It doesn't matter. It's a distributed technology. It's a DLT, distributed ledger technology, in the way of an app, which essentially is distributed and decentralized. So we ourselves are the treasury, because we own the treasury, because we are heads of state and commanders in chief. All of us, all the citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth, which is all humans. If you have a heart, you're a human. So you are a citizen of the Republic of Planet Earth, because this is our planet. So essentially, with that wallet, you issue the money that you need to sustain yourself. just like a bank does. But rather than having a bank, which is a centralized entity, we are our own banks. So it's a lot simpler. It's like a better version of a universal basic income. Because then again, a universal basic income, the word suggests it, is basic and it's income, meaning someone gives it to you, right? And this is an authority that is just providing you with a stipend. And this is just the same, but worse. It's terrible. So what you want to have is you are your own authority, because you are the state. You are the commander in chief. You are the head of state. You are everything. You're the republic, each and one of us. So you are our de facto bank, because we have the authorities embedded in us, because we own everything, to issue currency as required. You see, and with these resources, we can sustain ourselves, our standards of living. And then on top of that, we can use, if we need to go to the marketplace and get raw materials or anything, ingredients, whatever it is that we need, access other services. Say if you're building software, you need software on top of your software. Or for example, to have clear communications, you might need to have apps to communicate, right? And all these things that we have already created. So, well, sometimes there's a price to pay for those services, right? Well, you can afford it because we all have the issue of currency. And as an enterprise, you all coming together in this venture, you will have all the resources required to finance and fund everything, because we ourselves are banks. That's the whole purpose of the Republic of Planet Earth, is freedom. Okay, so you see no bossing around here. There's no hierarchies, because we don't need to be there. If we want, we can just go and follow our own purpose and do our own thing. We don't have to be there, because we don't need a check, right? We don't need a check. We're there because we want to be there, because we all together as one creating. So you see, that's why distributed, decentralized is important. So no secrets. Everyone has access to everything. Everything. All the messages, whether it's one-on-one messages, someone can see those as well. Simple as that. Because you're here to collaborate. You're not here to have little cliques. You're here to create. That's the purpose of this enterprise. This is the purpose of this flywheel. That's why it's called a flywheel, because everything is there for creation. And to stimulate creation, you need distributed and decentralized systems to create the best product. So everyone knows what's happening. Everyone has access to everything. Everything is there. So everyone knows what's happening. Even if you're making a call, that call is being recorded, because it's the purpose of it. So everyone can listen to the call if they weren't part of the call. Because this is part of this embedding that you're doing, the clear communications. Everything is available because it's transparency within the flywheel. You can have your own privacy outside this creation, because the Republic allows you to do that. Because there's quantum encryptions that allow you to have one-on-one communications with your intimate relations. Quantum encryption, right, based on singularity encryption, which is impossible to crack. So impossible because it's infinity itself. It's an infinite number of encryptions that will never be cracked. So we can have privacy in our personal lives, but when you are creating, you need to have access to everything. So everyone is part of this group, this team that is creating. So clear communications, all messages or emails, everything needs to be accessible to everyone. All meetings are open, everything, because everyone is there to create. And everyone then can do whatever they're supposed to do to come together. Okay, so that's it. Clear communications is fundamental. So then, because its nature is decentralizing. So for example, the body, there's no secrets in the body. When the heart signals the body, the whole body knows everything. So everyone, all the cells, all the organisms can do what they're supposed to. Okay, that's just the way it is. So we are biomimicking infinity ourselves, because we are infinity ourselves. Okay, so the third one is schedules and activities. You see, once you have clear communication and everyone is on board with this creation, right? Everyone that's on board with this creation, right? Then schedules and activities, meaning you can schedule time blocking, commitment levels, whatever, because each and one of us, based on the communications, has different tasks, jobs, activities. This is exercise 5, I think. So you see, all these exercises as well can be used for this purpose, so it helps you, okay? So you see, so everyone goes and does whatever they do, together or individually, because sometimes an individual might just be the expert in a specific area or field, and they need the time to schedule it and do it, right? The work. You see, just like you would in a normal job, like a traditional, like, a primitive, obsolete way of interacting in the past, which is not the future. This is not the future of humanity. The future of humanity is freedom for everyone, forever, because we're sovereign, we're independent. We're the Republic of Planet Earth. This is who we are. So we're here to create. That's what we're here to do, and this is what we're doing. So essentially, schedules and activities, right? Everyone does the activities, the jobs, the tasks, the to-do list, and schedule it, whether individually or in teams or groups. But it happens, and everything, there's full transparency and accountability around it, so everyone knows what they're doing and everyone sees it. Why? Because then you can support someone if something is happening. That's why you need to have full access to everything. No secrets. So then, particularly when you're working in you cannot have secrets in creation. Then you're not creating. You're not really creating when there's secrets. Creativity must be fully free to work. No containments. So then it leads to theaters and events. What are the theaters? Well, the theaters are everywhere you must be for the purpose, for the creation to happen, whatever that is, the good, the service, the product. You need to have theaters. These could be places where you go, or offices, or if you work from home, doesn't really matter. Whichever, those are the theaters, the places where everything happens. The theaters, right? The theaters, the stages, right? Where you perform. The performance, the stage where the performance takes place, whatever the activity, whatever the schedule. All right, and there is events around those theaters, right? Events that take place within the theaters. So those are based on what? The strategy, the agenda, the schedules, all that, the communications. It's the way it works. So, and then you put all those together, you see, this is important. They build up on each other. And then that leads to outcomes and results, because after a theater, there's a theater and there is a sequence of events, and many events happen in each of those theaters, right? Many events. So experiences and all that. So what results? Well, that results in outcomes. So when you work, there's an outcome to that, right? Whatever you do, when you're creating, there's an outcome to that. So these outcomes happen as a result of the engagements that you've been building up in the previous stages. And these outcomes need to be measured. There need to be measurement around them. We call them KPIs, OKRs, all sorts of names we give them, right? They need to be measurable, dashboards, reports, all sorts of things. All these needs to be trackable, so you can measure performance, you can measure completion, right, of the end state, which is results. You want the results, which is the manufacturing of a product, the creation of a service, you need the making of a good. For that, you need results, and results must be measurable, and that's based on outcomes. So you need to set up all these different systems and processes to track performance. Not of the individual per se, because there's no management here. You're not a manager here. You're tracking performance of the creation, the stages of it. That's what you're doing here, right? So everyone can help, because you're not getting paid. You already have income of your own. You're a bank. So you're there to create. So if your heart is not there, you can leave that enterprise and someone else will fill in. As simple as that, because there's no contracts here. It's not employment agreements here. There's not such of that. There's no need for any of that anymore, because these are all binding documents that are bonding, meaning slavery. All these documents are slavery. When you have an employment agreement, it's slavery. That's a slavery environment, that you're attached to all these conditions just so you can get paid. And that's just wrong. That's immoral, unethical, by all standards. So that's just wrong, because we are free and we cannot be bonded to any documents, contracts of any way or form, because it's illegal. It's against the legal freedoms of a republic. So then again, that leads to feedback loops, because when you have outcomes and results, there is feedback loops. And what's a feedback loop? Well, a feedback loop is the mechanism that you create so you can get a learning, self-learning, self-reinforcement. We learn in the flywheel, everyone is learning from the progress, from the outcomes, from the results of these theaters and these events, from everything that happens based on the schedules and the activities, the clear communications, and the strategy and agenda. Because then you can make out, so when you have a feedback loop, then it leads to the next stage. Everything has to have a feedback loop, everything. Because that's the way infinity works. Our DNA is a feedback loop. The pulse of life, the pulse of creation, the heart is a feedback loop, it signals. And then it gets that feedback back to the DNA, and it does it in that way, just the way it works. So you see, so the seventh stage is lessons and adjustments, right? It's lessons and adjustments. So what is the meaning of these? Well, the meaning of these is that you're learning because of the feedback loop. You see, there's a loop there that's teaching us the outcomes, the results. And then with these lessons that we're learning, because we're intelligent, we're creating, right? Then we can make adjustments. And make adjustments to our strategy, to our agenda, to our communications, to the schedules, to the activities, to the theaters that we're engaging in, and the events that we actually engage in if we don't get in the results and outcomes that we want. Because we're creating goods and services, we're creating products here. That's what we're doing. We're infinite eternal creators. That's what we do as a species. We're here to create, and we're doing this with the love of our hearts. That's what we're engaging as Compass in this enterprise, in this venture. Because we want to create something that benefits everyone, so society is richer as a result. Yes, the only reason why we're doing this is because we love what we're doing, because we know that we're gonna love it, because we're proud creators, and everyone will benefit from it. Otherwise, why would you do it, right? Because your heart has to be there. Yeah, your love has to be there. And then that's it. So you see, this is all coming together in the flywheel. So that's the flywheel. The flywheel always remains, and this system just gets optimized. You know, as you start to really have fine-tune the team, and everyone is really focused on what they're supposed to do as creators, right? Because you're there for the right reasons. You're not there for a paycheck. You're not there for status. You're there to create because your heart is there. You're not there for a title, because there's no titles. There's no hierarchies. You're not there to boss around. You're there to create. That's what that's what you're there for. You're not there to manage. You're there to create. So that's the whole purpose of this exercise. Okay, so phase B is integrate 4 steps with the flywheel. Now that you understand what the flywheel is, right, and everyone is on board, because it's culture, right? It's the culture of the team. If they don't like it, they will fly off because they don't want to be part of something like that, right? Because it's just the culture team. The team culture is just the way it is, because this is how you create the most wonderful things. So it's just that. So how do you, phase B is integrating 4 steps, these 4 fundamental steps that you need to integrate into the flywheel to make sure that the flywheel operates in the environments, because a flywheel is just, say, over a device, a flywheel. But that device is not, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's part of space structure, it's part of reality. So it needs to interact with the elements outside of it. Right? And there is 4 steps that you need to integrate as one. The first one is landscape. What's landscape? Well, the terrains, everything that is there, everything that exists, you know, where your theaters and events take place, your activities, your schedules, everyone. Is any other groups creating something similar to us? Is there is there demand for these products? Do we have customer personas, people that actually want these? That's the landscape, understanding the market proof of all sorts, right? All these different things, everything that's out there. Can we make ourselves better by engaging with new software, new technology, new productivity tools? All these different things, you see, the landscape, what is happening out there? Is our flywheel actually in sync with the landscape? Or are we just creating things that no one wants? You could do that too, I guess. But hey, for yourself, right? User innovation, as I call it. So you're using it for yourself, right? So you could do that as well, but then you're not having a major impact worldwide, right? or outside Earth's orbit. What you really want, if you're serious about entrepreneurship and creating venture and enterprise, what you really want to do is understand the landscape. Because you understand the landscape, your flywheel will operate in the landscape, the terrains. You would understand everything, right? So you would know that what you're doing, there's a signal. You're getting a signal from society, and you're doing the right things. Okay, so you see, what you need to always have this step in there in mind, landscape, right? Because once you understand landscape, then that leads to intelligence, which is the second step. What's intelligence? Well, knowing. We're intelligent, right? Because we know. So because you're gathering all these signs and signals from the landscape, from all the humans, customer personas, from all different products that are being created, you see, from all the things out there, is it demand, is it not, is it tools that can make us more productive, all these different things. All these different things. So you see, is that intelligence. So you need to have access to intelligence, all sorts of intelligence. We call it business intelligence, like in traditional terms. But this is all obsolete because there's all sorts of limitations to this intelligence. So because it's all hierarchical in nature. So in this world that we live in, the Republic of Planet Earth, this intelligence is accurate intelligence. It's not paywall intelligence that is all sorts of interest groups behind it, that is just there to shape events. So no, none of that. This is real intelligence, proper intelligence, real intelligence. The vitals. You're getting the telemetry of things, the real readings. Telemetry. So the telemetric thinking, which is all parts of the principles that I've been sharing with you in the 21st century moving forward, is telemetric in nature, is real intelligence, the real intelligence, full intelligence, complete information is called, complete information. And you gather that with telemetric tools, right? That's why we have singularity devices to give us proper readings. So anyway, so this is what we do as a species, right? We gather intelligence. And this intelligence is what allows us to be smart, so we can make the right decisions. Why? Because in the end, that's why you're in the landscape. To understand, you get the signal, you get the intelligence, the telemetry. And by getting the telemetry, what are you doing? Well, you're optimizing your flywheel, right? It's all these is so you integrating these 4 steps with your flywheel, so you create a better product that people really want, that is really benefiting society. And it's making you happy because you're creating something incredible. So it's telemetric thinking is the telemetry. Intelligence is a pseudonym for telemetry, really. If you really understand what I mean, it's telemetry. Telemetry is what matters. Intelligence is just like a word that really means telemetry. That's what it really means. The readings, right? The signals, the signs. And that's what you're after in the landscape. Because what's the telemetry? Well, it's reading the landscape. The telemetry is reading the landscape, the terrains, and then you get that info, right? That crucial data points. Okay, so you can make the right decisions. Okay, so now then what does that do? Once you have telemetry, intelligence, and once you have landscape understanding and the readings of it, what does that give you? Well, it gives you influence, right? Why? Because you understand, and you understand what matters. You understand what people want, what humans want, because you're creating value. Because your flywheel is about creating products, services that add value to society. So everyone is prosperous, everyone is rich, everyone is wealthier, everyone is more abundant. Because everyone is a bank, so everyone can afford whatever you're creating if you're charging for it. Because you don't have to, you can make it free like I'm making this. It's up to you. It's up to whatever you want. It's always up to you. Free will. So then again, you see, with that influence, then your flywheel becomes much more powerful because you're creating something that is influencing positively. It's a positive influence because it's influencing the team that is creating it, or yourself if you're working on your own, so you can make a better job creating with your flywheel. And as a result of that, you also influence in society, because when you share it with the world as a product, then you get telemetry, immediately. You're getting readings, you're getting intelligence. Why? Why? Because you're doing something that matters. You found a vein and at the poles. You found the poles, the need, right? You're feeling a gap and society wants to use it. So the moment that flywheel goes out there, then the influence is immediate and the adoption happens as a result. And so what does that lead to? Well, it leads to momentum, because when you put these 4 steps together with the flywheel, momentum is generated, because then you start to use all this influence, you start to use all this telemetry, all this intelligence, all this landscape information, plus the 7 stages of the flywheel. So the flywheel gains momentum, right? Spins, right? That's what a flywheel is in the end, is this mechanism. A flywheel is a cog that spins once it gains momentum. And the flywheel happens to be the pinch, right? The flywheel is the fulcrum, is the mechanism, is the lever, is the mechanism that enables all the other cogs as a result. That's the flywheel. The flywheel is that mechanism that makes everything happen. And when the flywheel gains momentum, everything else moves, this mechanical pressure. And all these mechanics start to emerge. And as a result of that, the whole thing works, right? The flywheel is the singularity. So the flywheel is the singularity of that creation, essentially. Is the epicenter, is the mechanism, is the key, right? Once it gains momentum and starts to move, everything moves around it, right? It generates electrogravitics, say. And you use that electrogravitics. You move around with it, you create, right? That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Okay, so that's it. You see, that's phase B. Very powerful. Very powerful. So then phase C, right? So it's apply growth scales to flywheel, because you're gaining momentum, right? So what do you want to do? Well, you want that product, that good, that service to be used, right? So you need to grow it. The scale of it, growth scales. And how do you do these? How do you growth scale something? How do you scale it, right? Growth. This is a big part of entrepreneurship. Adoption, right? Adoption by the market, right? By the consumer base, by the humans, the banks. Hey, so all wallets can have the ability to purchase it, right? So because they want to, because it's a great product, it's a great service, it's a great good that you're providing. That's why it's called a good, because a good is something that does good, right? It benefits. So, okay, yeah. So then again, so apply growth scales to a flywheel. And how do you do this? Well, once you understand the momentum of a flywheel, then you can do releases. And so you can gather more intelligence, more telemetry in the landscape. And you do that by proof of concepts. So you see, you do a proof of concept. And a proof of concept is like, something that is there to prove a point. To prove a point, to prove a concept. To prove that this flywheel works, that this product that you're creating works. So that's what the proof of concept is. So you can do a limited release, or you can have customer base that's based on customer personas as trials, all sorts. You can try it. You try whatever works for you as a proof of concept. And based on the adoption, then you start to gain new telemetry. You gain new telemetry, new readings, new intelligence in the landscape, because it's the landscape. When you do a proof of concept, you're proving a concept, and the concept is the flywheel that you're creating, the product, the service, right? The mechanism, right? The goods. So that's it. And then once you do that, then you move to the next step. A proof of concept always leads to the next step, and the next step is prototypes. So now you can prototype. You're prototyping now, meaning that you can actually create more wonderful things because you proved the concept. You know that the system, the product works, the service works, there is demand for it, right? People want it. Wallets want it. A wallet wants it. Someone wants to buy it. Someone wants to pay for it. Someone wants to purchase, wants to acquire it, because there is value in it if it's to be paid, which is fine because we all have banks. We can afford it. So that's not a problem, right? Price is not a problem. Right? We don't need salespeople anymore. I used to be in sales. That's how I developed my skills in sales. So you see, no price will not be an impediment anymore. There will be it's not price won't be a barrier anymore, right? It won't be what is it a an objection. Okay, so that's it. You see, with prototyping, a prototype is a bigger concept than a proof of concept. A prototype is precisely that, is your prototyping. So your proto is the beginning, right? Proto meta systems, right? A proto is the beginning of something. A prototype is a type of beginning, is the beginning of a type. So it's the first version, is the first type that you launch, the beta version, say. Prototypes tend to be the beta versions, right, of things if it's software. But then you can have a beta product too, right? Limited release, right? Still functional. So you can gather more data points, more intelligence, more telemetry, right? Because of the flywheel, the momentum that you're gaining, everything is there. Okay, so, and you have a team that's working together, right? Because everyone is excited. Oh, look, we launched, right? Look at this. Look at all these data points. People want it. Great. We're making everyone better off because you can have metrics now to track whatever performance, because the money is not the metric anymore, right? The profit. That's not the metric. The metric is satisfaction, customer satisfaction, delight. So that's the metric. So are we making waves? Is this product making waves? Are people satisfied? Do they like it? And that's what a prototype is there for. A prototype is there for, a beta. That's what they're for. Always, right? A/B tests, all sorts of things, right? So we can see what's happening and get more readings, more telemetry, more intelligence. Okay. So, and then gaining more momentum, more influence, because then the product becomes influential, right? If it's the right prototype, if it's the right version, then it gains influence because people want it. People want it, and they will be able to afford it. They have a wallet. So, yeah, that's how it works. So, what that leads to? Well, that leads to the third stage, which is a minimum viable product, because now you know that you can have this product that meets the minimum requirements to influence buyers. So you're influencing them. Oh, so they would be happy with that because it meets whatever demand, whatever need, whatever requirement is met. So it meets that minimum viable product, minimum viable service, minimum viable good. Why is it minimum viable? Because that is, it's viable. It works. It's a minimum requirement to meet a need. But then again, you don't want to stay there because you're just experimenting. Remember, you're prototyping, you're moving into proofs of concepts, you're moving out of these stages into a proper product market fit, which is the next step. You want to be a product market fit in the sense that your product fits a market. So there's a market, a segment of the market, right? Segmentation, whatever you want to break it down, demographics, all these concepts. And the market is that total addressable market. How big is the market? How many people want? How many solutions? All these notions, you need to apply it, because remember, the monetary metrics are not an impediment anymore. This is not about who can afford it anymore, because everyone can afford it. The fit is, do they want it? Because they can afford anything they want with their wallets. Do they want it? And you only want something that you either need or you actually want. And you see, because in the past we needed to create things that people needed because they had limited resources, because they had limited money, so they needed to allocate their budgets. But now budgets are not a problem because we can afford anything. So by being able to afford anything, it can be a want. I just want it because it's nice. It's a nice toy to have. You can do that. You see, you're creating incredible things that people really want because it's cool. It influences them. They love it, right? Or you can just do something that is actually a need. So and either way, whether it's a want or a need, you're still creating value because you are making everyone richer. You're making everyone better off. You're making everyone wealthier, more prosperous, more abundant, because everyone has more things that they didn't have before. You see, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's real. This is real commerce. Real commerce. This is 21st century commerce. Okay? Because capital is not an impediment because everyone has the funds, because everyone is a wallet. You see, it's beyond this paradigm of these primitive notions, right? So it's beyond that. This is real commerce, real wealth, real wealth. Okay, so then you move out of that product market fit paradigm into the next one, which is a market proof. Because once you have a market fit, then you have market proof. It's a proof. You see, people want it, people need it, customers need it. So the wheels of commerce gear up because people want to buy this. They want to do it. There's market proof. The proof is clear. The proof is in the pudding, right? People want to eat that pudding, right? They want it. They want the product. They want the service. They want the good. They want it because it makes them feel better. It makes them better off as people, right? As humans, as heartbeats. We are a lot of humans. So there's a lot of wallets. So there is a lot of needs. There is a lot of wants. So it's a big market out there. It's a big market out there. It's a big market out there. So you want to create, you want to have those market proofs, right? You want to make sure that everyone has access to it because they will all be able to afford it. Okay? So then that leads to the level, which is kind of like an oxymoron in a way, but it's not really, because it's this notion of sales-ready products. You see, they're ready to be sold. But why? Because the product is just off the shelves. You see, it's something that you know that if you put out there, it will be consumed, it will be sold, it will be purchased, because it's an essential. It's a good that people want, because you found this market. You have the market proof that wants it, is ready. It's a ready, sales-ready product. You see, and these are incredible products. These are products that have mass adoption. Everyone wants them because it's something that will make their life better off. It's like when technology, first came out, computers, right? Everyone wants a computer today because they're essential, right? Everyone wants a phone because they're essential, right? So this mass adoption, because these are essential products, because these services are fundamental, right? It's like the internet, right? The internet is a fundamental product, right? Everyone wants it. That's why there's so many products that are internet based, because everyone wants access to be communicated, to have access to everything. So communication. So you see, it's fundamental. These are fundamental notions. So a sales-ready product is that. So a sales-ready product, think about it as a product like a phone, like a computer, like the internet. These are products that everyone wants, right? It's like, anything, anything that is of that caliber, a caliber, because that's the aim that you're aiming for, that caliber. You want your flywheel to have that caliber, the caliber of a sales-ready product, the highest product, right? It's the highest range that you can aim for, the highest caliber, right, of your product would be a sales-ready product. The best type of products are sales-ready products. Fundamental, essential products that everyone wants and needs because their lives are better off without them. So that's the aim. And that's why you do proof of concepts. That's why you prototype. That's why you do minimum viable products. That's why you do product market fit. That's why you have market proof. So you can have sales-ready products, right? Because they sell themselves. Because people want them, they know them already. So you have created emotions, the flywheel, right? The flywheel is there for that. And essentially, what is your flywheel doing in the end? Well, your flywheel, the gears of commerce, what are they doing? Well, they're just producing, manufacturing, right? What? That sales-ready product, because you're doing something that everyone wants. And then obviously you keep on doing that to create new products, innovation, right? Research and development. So you keep on doing this to infinity. So you keep on creating sales-ready products. You can have categories, you can have whole ranges, right? All high caliber, because you want products that are sales-ready. That's what you want, sales-ready products. That's what you want. That's what entrepreneurship is. Entrepreneurship is getting to that where everyone wants it. Everyone needs it because their lives are better off as a result. Okay? And that leads to the final stage, which is phase D. See, ABCD process premise. So the phase D is mass adoption of flywheel. You see that beautiful enterprise, that venture that you created with your teams, right? Purposeful love. You have love creating these beautiful products and all the systems in place. What are you doing? Well, what's mass adoption? Well, mass adoption of flywheel is simple. It's high customer delight. And that's why it's a sales ready product, because when someone acquires this product, buys it, right, purchases it, gets it, whichever method, exchange of value, and the person obtains it, right, gains access to this service, to this good, to this product. There's great very high customer delight. Customers are happy, raving customers, right? Raving customers. What we really want, high customer delight, because it's delight. It's like this feeling that, oh my goodness, this is just better for me. My life is just better now. Thank you. You see, and that leads to all sorts of mechanisms because we share, right? So we're gonna tell our friends, we're gonna tell everybody, or everyone already knows, and I'm just late in the game. Yeah, that's the idea, right? You wanna be in that situation where the market demand is so high, the market proof is so high that you're just creating delight everywhere. And why is that delight? Well, it's love, because you want the customer to love the product, to love the experience, right? To love the service, to love the good, because when they do, then you have loyalty. You have someone that would just buy and do it as required, because you're creating this incredible mechanism that people are just loving, right? Loving. And those are the best services. Those are the best products. Products that have high customer delight. That's mass adoption, right? Mass adoption is two components. That's the first component. And the second component is high market demand. So there's a big demand for this delight. This is not a limited market. So the total addressable market ideally is the whole planet. If you're a serial entrepreneur, what you really want to do is to create products that everyone wants worldwide, just like the internet, just like a phone, just like a computer, right? Those are the products that you want to really be creating. But if you just want to create and you want to love and just, do because you feel great, which is totally fine, you can have smaller market segments, right? But whatever market, you want to have enough demand, so you're benefiting enough lives, enough human hearts, enough people benefit from it, okay? So that is the idea. You see, and that's what's called mass adoption, because it's the adoption it's mass adoption. Is everyone is adopting it within that market, whatever size the market is. Ideally, worldwide adoption. That's what you want, or outside Earth's orbit adoption as well, depending on the scale. So, but what you really want is mass adoption of the flywheel, the product, the sales ready product, this cost, that service, that good, and you need customer delight and you need high market demand for that to happen. And that only happens if the other phases are met: phase A, phase B, and phase C. So you get to phase D, which is the mass adoption, or is the highest status that a product can reach, a service can reach, a good can reach, right? Mass adoption, right? And then how do you get there? Well, powerful flow states, because you're with your love creating to make sure that you follow all the stages, all the phases, all the steps, and you get to that growth, you get to that scale, you get to mass adoption, so you make society richer, right? Wealthier, better off, right? That's what you do. Heartful flow states, that's what you do. And you follow your heart, your signs and signals, you see, because infinity is zero. Infinity equals zero, because zero is a sphere, and we're compasses. And the flywheel is the singularity of this creation that's spherical in nature. You see, that's what the flywheel is the singularity of this creation. And think of it as a compass. It's your compass, where you're creating, that you're sharing your love, your destination, right? That people are benefiting as a result, because you're here to create. So you see, you're creating spherical technology that is making everyone better off. So when you love, you tap into your DNA and unlock it, and you have DNA memories that allow you to get there. You find the right people, you find the right moments, and everyone come together and work together, because this is who we are with the Republic of Planet Earth. This is who we are with the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth, with the Republic of Planet Earth's Constitution. This is who we are. We're the citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth, the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth, the defenders of the Republic of Planet Earth, the leaders of the Republic of Planet Earth. And this is all of us. All humans are these, because we are commanders in chief. All of us. We are all heads of state. All of us at once simultaneously, because we're all equal in status. We are the powers and authorities of the Republic of Planet Earth. All of us. If you're a human, you have a heart. If you have a heart, you have a heartbeat. If you have a heartbeat, you can love. And when you love, that's the highest energy of creation, because you're a compass. This is who we are. This is our nature. We're a benevolent species. We're here to love. Remember who we are with the human race. We're the central race, the epicenter of the universe. We orbit the central sun of the universe, the singularity of everything that exists. And this is who we are. We're the biological expression of infinity. This is our race. We're the human race. So this is exercise 8, the ABCD process premise. Humanity, I love you all with all my heart, with all my might. I love you all with all my heart, with all my might.